with a pillow over me. I was YouTubing while they were up my colon. And every once in a while, I'd go, ouch, what the hell did you just do to me? And I felt pain. And all of a sudden this thing would tighten up around my head and squeeze and hug me and hold me. And they just show me love and caring and affection, and then the pain would go right away. I tell you, you guys, I was just so, again, one of those emotional roller coaster rides that it's just lucky at that time I was living home alone too, and there was nobody there in the house. It was just me. And thank God it was that way at that time. So anyhow, 14 days come, and believe, let me back up just a sec. This little fishing line I'm talking to you about, okay, I could feel it. I could feel this thing go up through your colon, your rectum, up in your colon, and I could feel it in the inner walls in there, inside the walls. Strangest feeling you ever could imagine. No pain. Every once in a while, I feel like a snip or I don't know. And I don't know how they remove them, but it was amazing. But it took them 14 days, and they would not do it while I said, why don't you just do this while I'm asleep? They wouldn't do it while I was asleep. They wanted me awake for the entire thing. And every time, say I'm laying there and I have to urinate, there was another one there that shot energy right up this, and it would take it away completely. Okay? It would completely take, and after a while your bladder would fill up, right? And you'd go, no, I can feel you're taking that urge away, but because they wanted me to lay there, they didn't want me up. And then finally I'd have to say, because you can feel your bladder just, and I'm going, nope, I'm getting up. And I'd get up and I'd walk away and go to the bathroom, come back, and there it comes right back again, that fishing line. Anyway, 14 days later, when this thing is done, that final night, they were in me for about 15 minutes, and they came out, and I thought, well, that was quick. And somebody starts patting me. You did it. We did it. I said, are you done? Squeeze, yes. I said, was it cancerous? Yes, it was. And you probably saved my life, didn't you? Probably. Now, I'm going to go get a physical. I'm going to get to a doctor. I need to go to a doctor. So I go to a doctor and I have my blood work done. And I'm worried. I'm coming in there and I'm telling the doctor, I just don't think things are right, this, that, and the other. And she says, I'm going to back up here just one second. The other thing too is, and I don't want to gross you guys out too much, I don't know what they were doing with it, but I never had a VM for 2 weeks. They were cleaning me out too, and I don't know how they did it. I ate regular, everything, and never had anything in 2 weeks. And so I'm just going to open this book up and let you know all the nitty-gritty details, but they were able to remove all that too while they were working on me and keep me clean. Okay, so anyway, where was I?
Doctor's office.
Oh yeah, I went to the doctor and I said I need to get blood work done. So anyhow, I get this blood work done. I go in there, I convince her, because I've never had a physical and I need a colonoscopy, and let's get this done. And she says, okay, come back next Friday for your blood work. So I come back next Friday and she walks in and she's chuckling. And I said, what you laughing about, doctor? And she says, I have never in my life seen a blood report like this, and I probably never will see another one in my life. And I said, oh, it's that bad? And she said, you see this number over here, Steve? And I said, yeah, that's a perfect number. You see this number over here? This is your blood work number. 29 of those 30 numbers were perfect. I was a point over on good cholesterol, the good stuff. I was a point over, 1 point. And she says, I have never seen this, nor will I ever see it, and you don't see it in a 17 to a 22-year-old kid, a blood work that comes in this clean. And she says, that's why I'm laughing. You thought something was wrong with you? She says, I wouldn't even ask you to go in and have a colonoscopy. Wow. But you're 58 years old, you're going. Okay, I go in for my colonoscopy. I ask her, but you removed everything. They're not going to find anything. No. Okay, did you leave something for the doctor to find? Yes. And I go, crap. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. So I get ready, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm there laying for my colonoscopy. They go to work, I get done. I get my paperwork when I'm done. I'm reading it. Removed 2 polyps, non-cancerous. They left 2 polyps for them to remove. You know why? Because they wanted to go in and see how crudely we do it. I got home that night, tap, 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 fishing line. That stream went right up me. They doctored them up where they cut them, fixed them. 10 minutes later, they were out, patted me, and I said, you left those 2 so the doctor could see and you could see how they did them, right? Yes. Amazing. Absolutely staggering. Okay? So, thank you. So anyway, you know, meantime, my family, I'm trying to get my family to absorb all this as well. Okay? You know what they did? They went and touched each member of my family to prove it to them. Steve's not lying to you. They tapped Marissa on the leg.
Who's Melissa?
My oldest daughter.
Okay.
My youngest daughter, Gwen, she got pregnant. She opened, the day before she found out she was pregnant, she opened her door and a big orb, she could hardly see through it, it was so dense, was in her bedroom. Just, she went, whoa, but she knew Dad was having these, she knew orbs, she didn't panic. It stayed there for about 15-20 seconds and left, and the next day she found out she was pregnant. I think they were there kind of, you know, just a little, yeah.
Was it pink or blue?
No. So, then the next one was my mother. My mother, devout Catholic. I came back, man, she was certain this was a demon, right? Well, she goes to the doctor, and she has a left side enlarged heart, okay? And she comes home, and we've talked about this a lot. We've gotten over the demon part, you know. I've convinced her. And she says, well, Steve, could you ask your friends maybe to help me? So I sat down with her in her TV room with her, and I said, this is my mother. She has an enlarged left side of her heart. And I said, can you try to help her? We're not asking you, saying you're going to heal her. Will you look at her and see what you can do? She says instantly yes. And I tell Mom, I said, Mom, don't freak out. They're going to visit you. I'm sure of it. I go home, and as I'm driving, I'm going, come on, you guys. You can't let me down. You cannot do this to me and not show up. And man, she just kicked the side of my head. Stop it, Steve. Don't do that. Okay? I said, I'll shut up. I mean, it was an abrupt, you know, and I knew. I've been communicating and talking long enough. I'm understanding. So anyway, the next morning, my mother calls me up and she says, yes, Steve, your friends were here. I said, well, how do you know? I said, at 5 o'clock in the morning, they woke me up and pushed my shoulder 4 times. Very hard, so I could feel it, so I wasn't mistaken it. I was wide awake. They woke me up and they pushed. She went back in a week later, had her heart done, the deal. Oh, your heart's fine, no problem. Perfectly good. A little while later, my mother comes to me. She's having these eye problems. She called to me one night in just a frantic mess. I can't drive anymore. I've got these lightning bolts going through my eyes. And there was something else going on. And I said, Mom, I'll be over. We'll see whether or not somebody will come and help you. And I came over, I talked to her, and she says, yeah, we'll send somebody to your mother to help. So anyway, Mom, the next morning woke up to these scented flowers smell in her bedroom. She checked everything she had and couldn't find that smell. She couldn't figure out where that smell comes. Well, I've smelt it many times. They can put a wildflower scent in, and I'm sure Matt smelled it, Cynthia smelled it. I'm not sure, Robert, if you've smelled it, but yeah, we've all smelt it. And she had it in her bedroom. I said, no, Mom, that was them. She also had a degenerating disease. What was that, macular or whatever that? There's no reverse in it, okay? She just last month got back to the doctor. Doctor's sitting there saying, it's not there. What happened? It's gone. That doesn't happen. It's gone. She's not going to have any problems with her eyes. She's going to be able to go on and see. It's gone. So I'm really proud of them for taking care of my mother. Oh, it's been a crazy roller coaster ride, and I'm gonna be honest with you, as you know, emotional I am, as everything I've said. If they left my life tomorrow, if she left my brain, if they left me, I'd fall to my knees and cry. I love them dearly. You know, I've asked them to do a couple other little things, and they have. They play with me a lot, too. There's some really fun times. You know, I'm not the best at getting up on time in the morning for things. The morning I was supposed to meet Matt, I'm late down at Black Bear in Grants Pass. I'm 45 minutes late. Do you know what happened 45 minutes earlier before I got up and would have put me on time at the Black Bear for lunch? An orb grabbed the end of my blanket and flipped it off of my feet. Literally picked it up and flipped it off my feet. I've had some other things too. I was screamed to Matt again one time, and Zorth told him, Steve, you have some neurological problems. I go, really? And I asked her, and she says, yeah, you do. And I've laid in bed many a times when they did injections in the top of my head, and I could feel this cold fluid underneath my skin go down over my scalp. 3 times I felt that. These injections. You can feel them come. They hold your head real steel. One night, I was asleep. They woke me up. And they took I was on my side, and they took my ankles and they pulled it up to my butt. So I was like in the fetal position. One arm went around my shoulders. One arm went through my legs right here. And when I went out like a light, I was about 3-4 inches off the bed picking me up. When I woke up, I was in a different place. I was inside this container, shielded container. It was a plastic-like material. And it had like a diamond cut in the front. I don't know if I was supposed to see out of it. But I went through a door and I heard a metal latch. And I went in and I went up to somebody, yay tall, had black hair, straight across, straight cuts. And the guy that took me in there, that wheeled me in, he had the same thing, same haircut, only he's about 6 foot tall. And they put my head in this thing, and on the left-hand side, they went in with some instruments and they did something. Now, I only got to wake up for parts of it. Call it a dream if you want. Call me telling you a dream if you want. Or something going haywire with my mind that gave me that illusion. Call it if you want. One thing I know for sure, remember, I was picked up. I was wide damn awake. And I was picked up. So now the rest of it, call it what you want, I don't care. But I'm sure that it was no dream. They had taken me somewhere. How they did it, I don't know. I got home, they put me back in bed, and I woke up immediately after, and I had to go to the bathroom. Of course, you always got to go to the bathroom, you know. I jump up, and I'm like this. Man, that stuff is still, whatever they gave me, I was grabbing the walls. It was, I just went in there and sat on the toilet, and just sat there until this thing kind of cleared up. And I was able to stand and walk. Because whatever they gave me, clearly, again, I'm wide awake and I can feel the effects of it, okay? Many times they have done stuff on my brain, and I always say to them, I trust you. I know that you won't hurt me. I know that you're God's children just like we are. I know that you believe in the same God, the same Jesus Christ. And I know that you're God's children and you're here on God's call. Always put God above them first. And they know that. And they agree with me. They tell me you should. The other night, not the other night, a few months ago, it was, well, actually it was in the fall. I've got this little heater. Instead of at night turning my furnace on, you know, I'm always trying to do something cheaper, you know. Instead of turning your furnace on, heating the whole house, I got this little electric heater. It's a box, about yay wide, yay high.
Infrared.
Okay? Yeah, infrared. And I got a little control from my bed, and I can turn it on or off. And I got it on, and I get up and I go to the bathroom. Here I am going to the bathroom again. I go to the bathroom, but when I come back out, I do something that I never do. I always leave my bathroom door open, but I hooked it with my finger, and I pushed it behind me, not realizing, and I walked to the bed and went to sleep. Well, between the door and the heater, there was about 1 inch from the face of that heater. Well, you know what's happening already, you guys. I'm sure you do. That door's starting to heat up. That heater's right, I mean, right next to it, within 1 inch. And I am sound asleep. This door's heating up. The next thing that's going to happen is it's going to start smoldering. May not catch on fire, but it's going to start smoldering. smoking. Hopefully the smoke's gonna wake me up. But it's not the smoke that wakes me up. What it is, it's an orb that comes up to me. It comes across my left shoulder like this. Is that all right if I touch you? Your left shoulder, and then hooks underneath my armpit and raises my shoulder off the bed about 6 inches, pulls me, and I lay back down. Now you got to remember, I get a lot of interaction. I turn around and I say, please leave me alone, I'm trying to sleep, don't bother me. All while my door's about ready to catch on fire. Well, I lay back down, the orb comes right on back to me, cups around my shoulder, up my armpit, lifts my shoulder up, and this time a little higher. Well, I know, okay, you're not doing this for nothing. And I sat up on the side of my bed thinking, I'm gonna have to sit here and talk to him, try to figure this out. And I look at the door and I see that orange glow from the heater, and I went, oh shit. And I jumped up and I ran to that door and I flung it open, and I immediately went down to touch the door. It was so hot you could not put your hand on it. You could not leave your head, it was that hot. So you know how close that door was to just starting to smolder, or something blacker starting to melt, you know, things starting to happen? But they saved me from that happening. I want to go back, I'm just telling you bits and pieces and stories, but I want to go back to another time when I was doubting who it was. I'm going, is this really Bigfoot? Come on. You guys got to do something. Show me yourself. Do something. Help me. Help me get by this. And this was early on. This is something I should have shared earlier here, but I'm backing up. And I said, so anyway, I went to bed and I noticed they did something to my brain again. And I thought, okay, I'll let you do it, no problem. Because I know you're not going to hurt me. And I do have complete trust in whatever they do to me. I don't even flinch anymore. Go for it. I'm not worried. I have full trust in it. And so anyhow, what's the story I was telling you now? Oh yeah. So anyway, they put something in my head. I went to sleep. And I woke up feeling like something was being pushed up the back of my neck. And it was a very uncomfortable feeling. So uncomfortable, I rose up out of my bed like a bull in a china closet. What the is going on? And what I greeted was two hairy arms pushed me back down. And the only thing I could think of at that moment was grab his arms. I'm wide awake now. Grab his arms and grab hair. Because I can't see him, it's dark in my bedroom. And I grab his arm, and sure enough, I grabbed a handful of hair. And at that very moment, their faces illuminated. There was one big one and one small one. And they both looked at me. I looked at the big one. I looked at the little one, got a good look at him, looked back at the big one. I got this big smile on my face, and I going, yes, I get to talk to you. Yeah, bam, they knocked me out so fast. Okay, Steve, we proved to you who we are, okay? That's when I was going through that period of time. So they proved to me who they were again. If I was going to do this all over again, they'd probably do the same thing, but I know who they are. I'm not going to challenge them anymore. I've challenged them enough times, and every time they come back and they prove to who they are. Now, also keep in mind, you know, out of all the things that have happened, Oh, it's dark out in this fire and I don't see this stupid thing, and I'm probably missing some stuff here, but there's a list of stuff that has happened to me that I think I could probably stand here and tell you for the next 4 hours. It's just amazing. It just never stops. The tapping, the playfulness, you know, the little pushes. One time I was in a Home Depot store, right? And I'm walking along, and my hands were full, and I put this little thing in my back pocket, and I was going to pay for it. You know, I was going to pull it out of my pocket. I did forget about it. And as I'm walking up the counter, I'm getting this, and then all of a sudden, right there, it pushed me, and I go, "Oh crap! I'm sorry." Pulled it out to pay for it. Was not intentionally walking out with anything, but they always help me in little things like that. Little things. I was in a job one time. I sat on the center of the vanity, brand new vanity, just put it in, countertop. There was a pencil. It's one of those Home Depot ones with the orange pencils and the clear tube. Probably all seen them in a Home Depot. And I knew it was there. I walked in there and it was there. And I walked back out and I came back and I needed a pencil. It was gone. And I go, "Nancy," that's a homeowner, "what did you do with my pencils?" "I didn't do anything with them, Steve." I didn't even think they were playing with me. I go out to my truck and I finally figured out, and I goes, "Guys, you can't do this. You can't come into my job and take my pencils from me." And I went to my truck to get another pencil out of the side door where I have extras. And I came back into that bathroom and the pencils were back there. There was only one person in the house. It was Nancy, and trust me, Nancy did not touch those pencils. And they were just having fun. It was just good fun. I wake up every once in a while in the morning. I do not get mind speak, such as Matt does. They deal with us. I hear people with different experiences all the time, and we were talking about this tonight. And I think experiences just are different from person to person to person on how we take them in or intercept them. So when I tell my story to the few that I've told it to, it's always a little different than the next person. It seems like the stories are a little bit different. The interactions with them are different with people who have interactions. Now, the other thing is that a thing that I'm also very afraid to talk about too much around people is because one thing that I don't like, and I have seen a little bit of it, is and I don't like it, and that's why I'm telling you guys, I normally don't even tell people about this stuff, but I'm just going to do a tell-all here kind of tonight. But the reason I don't is because of jealousy. In this field, I tell you, people are weird, and I've already been just like, not literally, but punched in the face for trying to help somebody or tell somebody, and then you get this jealous thing. So I just, to me, it's better off I just keep my mouth shut, and I don't say anything. I go on with my life. If they direct me or my family member needs healing, I'll go ask them. And for God's sake, they watch over me all the time. And I'm just very, very blessed, to be a part of this. You sure couldn't have convinced me that in the first 3 months, though. I mean, I wished I could have just ran away from it all. It's a difficult thing to get used to because, our minds just don't plug into this. Especially when it's at this depth. Like Matt said, I went from 0 to 150 miles an hour in one night. And it just doesn't happen to people that way. And the only thing that I can say is that this probably happened because, I took that machine up there, I built it, I brought it up for them, I believed in them before I even knew anything, and Um, and so they gifted me, you know, they adopted me. I didn't come asking for them. I didn't ask for anything in return for this. I just took it up there for Matt, really. And so, and this is how it all turned out. I mean, and again, you know, it's like Cynthia uses all the time, you know, the rabbit hole gets deeper. Oh man, when I heard her say that for the first time, I said, oh man, does that ever resonate with me? It just never stops. It never stops. Okay, I'll just take you real quick to another one. Go ahead.
I've always wanted to ask you this question. Because when I read in the book that you weren't, that Matt really didn't want you to bring the machine. You know, he kind of said just come.
Right.
But for some reason, do you remember back when you knew or just had that inkling? Were they talking to you then?
No, no. I'm a common sense guy. I'm just a common sense. I'm going all the way up there. What the hell? And it's about this machine. What am I going there for without this machine? That's how I rose myself to that. And I called Matt and I said, Matt, please let me bring this machine along.
But
And now,
something wasn't.
did they? I have no idea. I don't even have an inkling. You know, I mean, I don't ask them questions like that. People ask me a lot of times, ask them that. You didn't ask? Oh, come on, you didn't ask them that? No,
Okay.
I don't ask them every question in the world, you know, and I don't know. Yeah, I could ask that.
Well, you know,
I'm sure.
I want to tell you, I want to thank you so much because you have said 3 things that have confirmed that I have my Sasquatches because of 3 things. It's absolutely positive, and it's such a blessing.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to say something. This is what I've told a lot of people. I've said, listen, you don't have to believe a word that I say, but please do this. Put it in the back, log it in the back of your brain. Don't write it off as I'm just crazy and I'm telling these outlandish stories. Just log it, please log it in the back of your brain. Because if you're out looking for this, and when things start to happen, you're going to go, oh, let's pull that out what Steve said. Wow, that makes sense. And if anything, you know, and you know, I hope every one of you believe every word I'm saying because I have not wavered from the truth one iota here tonight. I haven't even imagined or made any little innuendos up. I have not added to any of this. I'm just telling you exactly at ground level exactly what happened. Okay, I want to just tell you this real quick and I'm going to let Matt talk.